Construction management or civil engineering. These are completely different fields and have completely different tasks associated to the job. First off, construction management, you're only seeing one aspect of the job, which is construction. The main goal of the construction manager is to oversee the construction of this project. Some of the tasks involved include bidding out your work, so you'll receive construction plans from the engineer, you'll bid out your work, you will then determine the construction schedule. You'll also be responsible for scheduling site inspections and managing your crews to complete the work in a timely manner. A construction manager will also be responsible for any potential work orders that are out of the scope of the contract. The contractor will be in the certification phase where they're working with the engineer in the jurisdiction, which is usually a county, to actually certify the project and say that the project is meeting the design intent of the construction plans. As a construction manager, you're generally just working with your crew, the superintendent, maybe you're working with the county, different municipalities, and the civil engineer. Now, the civil engineer sees the entire process of this development. A client comes to us with a piece of land in mind that they want to develop. They go through different due diligence periods where they come to us to determine how much this project is going to cost, and we end up developing this huge budget. And we're talking hard costs, soft costs, and again, the soft costs are, how much does it take to hire an environmental scientist? How much does it take to hire a geotechnical engineer? We determine and prepare a due diligence set of plans where it's basically like a high-level bird's eye view. And this is all in the due diligence period. This isn't even construction plans yet. If the due diligence meets the client's business plan and it works in their favor of actually making a profit on this land, they will want us to create a proposal for the construction plan documents, and that's where things get fun. The construction plan and the design phase is the fun part. That's where we're actually working on the nitty-gritty details of the construction plan set. We're developing stormwater reports, utility reports, all the documents needed to actually permit this site through the county. Depending on the size of the project, this could take months, if not a year, especially of a really big project. Once you get to the end of your design and actually getting permits through the county, you can now go and construct. This time, the engineer can help out with bidding services, as we'll put together some EOPCs, which are just probable costs. I kind of glossed over this, but let me go back. The civil engineer actually works with the environmental scientist, the geotechnical engineer, transportation engineer. The civil engineer is the glue that holds this project together. And let me just say, all of this is happening before construction. The civil engineer also provides services for construction certification. So, we'll have to schedule inspections as well, work with the county and the contractor to work on a date that we can actually go and inspect the site. Some tests can include subgrade tests, testing the roadway, testing the storm sewer, sanitary. This process could take months, and we oversee and we help the client understand if they are on track. Because the most important thing to the client, especially if they're developing some sort of building or home, is that these roads and utilities are in place, because then they can actually get what's called the CO, which is Certificate of Occupancy. That's what it takes to actually be able to be inside of a building. The next most important thing is actually getting a plat under their belt, especially for a residential neighborhood, because once we get this thing platted out to a surveyor, which we work hand in hand with, then the client can actually sell these homes because they have a legal platted document where they can sell each individual lot. So when I get all these questions about construction management, civil engineer, it's really not even identical. The civil engineer gets to oversee the entire project with the client and with the entire project team. The construction managers come in at the very last phase of the project. Then the next questions are always like, well, is construction management more worth it? I'm going to just go ahead and say this. I think if you have a civil engineering degree under your belt, you can do anything you want in this field. You can be a construction manager if you want, or you can go into the civil engineering field. You get a construction management degree. If you ever have hopes of being a professional engineer, you will have to have a Bachelor of Science from an ABET accredited school in order to get your PE. So I don't know. You guys tell me.